Are you in a reading slump? I sure hope not. Book slumps suck. But if you are, here's 5 ideas on how you might be able to get out of it. It really sucks when you want to pick up a book and everything you try and read just doesn't hit, or you're just not in the mood, or you read a couple paragraphs, find yourself halfway down the page and have no idea what you just read. You just can't focus and you really want to be in the reading vibe, but it's not working for you. So, what do you do? How do you get out of the slump? Here are 5 things you can try that just might get you out of that slump. So if nothing's hitting for me, first thing I'd try is just reread an old favorite. If it's one of your favorites, you know you're gonna love it, and if you love it, it's gonna hit. So my go-tos are always The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. Now, sometimes I reread them just because I want to reread them. But other times, yeah, it's to bust a slump. But I love them. So they're always something I'm in the mood for. On the opposite side of things, though, the next thing that you could try would be to read something outside of your regular genre. So for me, I typically read fantasy, romantasy, and sci-fi. So if that's not really hitting for me, I tend to reach for a romance or a mystery thriller. Those are my kind of like secondary go-to genres. But if even that wasn't working for me, I could try like a literary fiction or, something completely different altogether, leading into the next thing you could try, which is to read something outside of your regular format. So for me, I tend to read novels, fiction novels, more than anything else. So if I'm in a serious reading slump, maybe I'll reach for a graphic novel or a manga or audiobooks. Now, for me, I read audiobooks all the time. I have the luxury with the nature of my job that most days, like a typical workday, the second half of my shift, I can listen to an audiobook. But if you don't regularly listen to audiobooks, it's a good way that you could just switch things up. You could immersive read, listening to the audiobook while reading the book to help you get that full experience of being in the world. Or, you could get out of your normal setting, go for a walk, or just get some other stuff done while listening to the audiobook. So you get some reading in while getting some other stuff done. And truly, for me, the best audiobook experience I've had in a long while has been Dungeon Crawler Carl. I binged this series early this year. I was absolutely obsessed. The audiobook narration is absolutely hysterical. It's so funny and absolutely a hilarious good time. But yeah, moving outside of your typical reading format, maybe you pick up an ebook instead of the physical book, or vice versa. If you're always reading on your Kindle, maybe if you just grab a paperback, it could be all the difference that you need to get you out of that slump. And I just mentioned that I had binged Dungeon Crawler Carl. Yeah, that's kind of our next little option to get you out of the slump. This is something that I just call bingeable nonsense, all right? These are the kind of books that I don't really have any expectations on the quality of the writing. I'm not expecting immaculate, beautiful prose. I'm expecting unhinged, ridiculous nonsense, but overall a good time. So a few years back, my example of a bingeable nonsense series for me was the Crave series. I have since replaced that or upgraded it with Zodiac Academy. Now, this is another one that I did listen to on audio. I don't know if I would have gotten through them if I was physically reading them. I might have thrown them across the room. However, I loved the series. This was the worst series that I enjoyed start to finish, is the best way I can describe it. There are some absolutely cringeworthy things in this world. When I first saw someone get a Fae book message, I I I was nearly done. That took me out. But overall, the series is a fun time once you get past the first book. The first book is not good. But the series is ridiculous, absolutely ludicrous nonsense. You have a villain that you absolutely hate. They do a really good job of making you hate the villain. But it doesn't have to be that series, it's just that kind of concept. Read something that you don't really have any expectations for. Just something that you don't need to take too seriously, and you could just go into it for the enjoyment. Just go into it for a good time. Now, I know what you're saying. All of these things you're talking about binging here are like long series. I'm in a slump. I can't get through one book, let alone pick up a long series where some of the books are, like 1,000 pages long. Don't be ridiculous. You're right. You're right. So that's going to bring us to our final slump buster tip. And this actually should have been the one that I mentioned right after Reread an Old Favorite. This is the real one that I go to most often if I hit a slump. It's a short read. Just pick up a shorter book. It's not that much of a time commitment to get through it. I read for the enjoyment of it, the escapism. But if nothing's hitting and I'm like, man, I just want to read a book and, I haven't been able to get through anything, I just pick up something short. You know what I mean? So for me, currently a go-to, shorter recommendation would be the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. Most of these books are under 200 pages. I think there are a couple that, get closer to 300, but they're fun, they're short, and I like them. So that's a pretty easy recommendation. If you wanted something a little bit more cozy, A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher was cute and fun. Honestly, a lot of T. Kingfisher's stuff is pretty short, so that's something that you'd be able to look into for some shorter options. And yeah, that's my main go-to personally, if I'm in a slump, is just reach for a shorter read. And if that doesn't work, reread an old favorite. And if that doesn't work, then yeah, I'm gonna try and look outside of my genre or outside of my format, or just get into some straight bingeable nonsense, because I do love me a good binge. Well, I hope you're not in a reading slump, but if you are, hopefully some of these options might be able to help. And if you like this content, be sure to give this video a like. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate it. And drop a comment down below. Let me know what you're reading, or let me know the last book that got you out of a slump. I'd love to hear from you. And subscribe for more bookish content to come in the future. Bye-bye!